Joining us live to discuss the security challenges in Igangan, southwest Nigeria, is Dr. Ekhomu. Good to have you join us, Dr. Ekhomu.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
So earlier this year, we saw an attack also in that community in Oyo State, and there was a town hall meeting that followed after between all parties. One thought that that would have led to a peaceful coexistence amongst all parties in that community, but it seems like that's not the case. What do you make of this latest attack?
Well, unfortunately, it's so difficult to discern the actual motives of these attackers because it's very bad to understand them over whatever group. Now, what was said, or what was circulated, based upon some projection that was made earlier. So the what the security advisor to Oyo State Governor said was that some of the local actors there, their kids were some of the victims of the some of the aggressors, not victims. Some of the aggressors who were gone down in the gun battle between community vigilantes and the defenders. So what we are trying to say here is that let's even just assume that these are foreign headers who are coming in, or foreign invaders coming in to fight in Ibarapa local government. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it adequate. It doesn't make it okay. However, I think right now we don't want to really waste a lot of mental capital trying to figure out what is in their head. The important thing for us is how do we prevent these attacks, and how do we defend our communities when they come in. I think that's the important thing. And one of the things I said, just to make the point, is that we need to develop community tripwire programs whereby invaders that are coming, because we know why they are attacking. They are attacking because these are soft targets. They think they can shock and awe us, and then create a lot of disruption within the community, and create fear, and win. Because for terrorists, when you kill people, even if you kill yourself, even if the terrorist comes out and blows himself up, he believes he has won because he has shocked you, he has put fear in you, and that's what this is all about.
So the government officials, the state government officials, did link this to, they linked this current attack to one of the leaders of the community who had been pushed out and who went to reinforce and came back. But the problem with these kind of attacks is that you see people who say, look, how do we also go and reinforce, and come back? It's more like, reprisal attacks upon reprisal attacks. And it's the innocent people who actually suffer in cases like this. What would you recommend in going forward? Because there was a peace meeting at some point that it seemed like it didn't work. So what would you recommend going forward?
Thank you very much. Now, what is clear, even from what you said, the peace meeting, is that the local herders who live in the communities, and they live in many communities, including my own local community in Edo State. The local herders are basically, well, at least most of them or some of them are basically peaceful, peace-loving people. But you have this militia, this rogue militia element that is out for blood. Now, those are the guys I'm saying that we ought to have tripwire programs. Now, what do I mean by tripwire program? Let me elaborate. We must get some youths in the community who stay up all night and create vigilance. They create like an intelligence outpost that like lookouts, what we used to call lookouts. They are the lookouts, and when we have these invaders coming in, they can now signal the protective forces back home to fight, because this is a fight for our communities, and we must not let them, whether they are foreign headers or whether they are local headers, come and intimidate us to leave our communities. That's not right. There's something extremely wrong about that.
There is now a call for the state governor to come up with or organize a security summit in that state. Would that be of paramount interest for your state at this moment for a security meeting?
Well, I think what you just said 3 days ago, within the last 1 week, the government held a meeting with the community and everything broke down.
Earlier in the year.
No. I know. I'm just saying there was a meeting recently, a few days ago, between Governor Makinde and that community Igangan. Now, that's so. What I'm saying is, it's not about how many summits you hold. Right now, it's about defending the community. It's about putting, mobilizing whatever is available to you. The governors are chief security officers, and it means something. They have a Motekun available to them. They have local vigilance forces available to them. They even have Mr. Mohammed Adamu, the ex-IGP now. They even have his supernumerate constables also available to them. So there are lots of assets. It's only, you don't have to wait until there is legislation for state police before you defend your community. That's what I'm saying is wrong. Now, these people can form a bulwark of the forward defense, while you can now call in second brigade in Ibadan to provide additional firepower. So the federal resources become what do you call it? They become responders. They provide heavy firepower, but you must be able to govern. That's the whole thing, because these terrorists, they are looking for ungoverned areas, and so please don't call them. These are not bandits. The banditry problem is in the northwest. These are the header militias that are fighting in the southwest. So let's not conflate it. When we do, we are just giving them excuses to do whatever nonsense they want to do.
So just a few minutes before I let you go, does this also then make the case? Because we're seeing now that a lot of states a lot of regions are coming up with their security outfit, but even in these regions, one cannot really say that they have been as effective as they should be, as we see especially in the southern part of the country. What does this say about just putting these outfits together and ensuring that they are actually effective in defending these communities?
Thank you, ma. A poorly defended outpost is better than a non-defended outpost at all. Now, these are just new things. These are new realities. We're just trying to scratch up security resources. Security, policing and military remains on the exclusive legislative list. So it's not available to us until perhaps the governors can convince the federal legislature to give us state policing. But while that conversation is ongoing, we must have something on ground. So if everybody carries his game gun, carries a cutlass, a cudgel, but we're in a defensive posture and we train for it, then you're able to defend your community. We are not all pregnant women here. So it is possible to actually defend these communities. So it's the mindset.
Wouldn't that just allow for some level? Of course, people should be defended. People should defend, should be defended by security operatives. But again, when everybody starts to carry one weapon or the other, isn't that also going to lead to some level of lawlessness?
Definitely. But, what you have to balance the risks. That's why we do what we call risk analysis. You have to balance the risk. The risk of having invaders. Well, in this case, Nigeria's excuse is usually they are foreign invaders. Having foreign invaders come and wipe out your whole community, or having a situation where a man and his friend quarrel in a beer parlor and one brings out a gun or a cutlass and hits the other. It's happening today anyway, whether you like it or not. So crime will be crime. But right now, I'm talking about defense of the community. And we must change our security architecture. We must change our security mentality, our thinking. We must look at what we call convergent factors and divergent factors. What are the things that will continue to add to our ability to protect our community, and what are the things that will take away from our ability to protect our community? It's a kind of a mindset, and that's all I'm calling for this morning.
Dr. Ekhomu, the southern governors have said the Amotekun Corps should form, there should be joint operations among them. Let's see how that works in the coming months and in the coming weeks. Thank you so much for talking to us, Dr. Ekhomu.